Welcome to Saskatchewan, a land of endless fields of green and yellow, of prairie grasses, living skies, spectacular sunsets, wild weather, and views to endless horizons in all directions. The third province in my bike journey across Canada. The first full day began with a downpour. Rain soaked the earth, and I had my first intro to the pain of riding on the wet and muddy prairie gravel roads. After the tough first day, I decided to make distance across the prairie and follow paved highways on a direct route for Saskatoon. Coming into Saskatoon, there were nice paths along the South Saskatchewan River where a flock of beautiful American white pelicans frolicked and fished. Heading south out of the city, paralleling the river, the Mawassan Trail held an abundance of native prairie grasses and flowers. A small reminder of the vast grasslands that covered the prairie not so long ago. This herd of bison, currently used as livestock, are small remains of the great animals that once roamed the plains in the tens of millions. Adjacent to the shores of Diefenbaker Lake, I rejoined with the TCT. From mowed paths through grassy fields to canola field single track, it eventually became unrideable mud. been 4.5 hours. I've gone 23 kilometers. After it rains, the soil here turns to gumbo mud, famous for sticking to everything that touches it and sucking vehicles right in. To be straightforward, it's a pain in the ass. Finally, pavement. In the town of Elbow, a brief and beautiful few kilometers of the Elbow Trail was a fun ride with its twists and turns above the lake. In Douglas Provincial Park, there were some amazing sand dunes, remnants of the glacial retreat following the last ice age. After a beautiful sunset on Diefenbaker Lake, I made friends with a cute porcupine. Sorry to bother you with the light there, buddy. Formed from the damming of the South Saskatchewan and Qu'Appelle rivers, Diefenbaker Lake, with its more than 800 kilometers of shoreline, is a fascinating example of a human-made bifurcation lake, flowing into two drainage basins. In the warm golden glow of a late afternoon sun, I enjoyed riding through the grassy hillsides of Buffalo Pound Provincial Park. And that evening, I diverted onto the Trans-Canada Highway to straight line to Regina. Despite the loud and fast passes of traffic and transport trucks, I still found it possible to find occasional moments of peace and bliss. Regina had some lovely paths along the rivers and lakes through the center of the city, and plenty of opportunities for waterfowl watching. There pretty much wasn't anything to be said about the cycling this day, just another straight line down the highway towards Fort Qu'Appelle, where in the evening I found peace and a perfect campsite by the lake. A central part of the valley, the Qu'Appelle Lakes are a chain of 4 lakes formed at the retreat of the last ice age. There are several lovely communities along the lakeshore, with lots of life and culture, and a good trail system between. Thousands of cliff swallows made the underside of this bridge their home, and were darting in and out on their quest for food. The Qu'Appelle Valley was absolutely spectacular gravel riding amongst picture-perfect pastures and hillsides. Definitely a recommended route through the prairies. Heading north, the joy of empty country roads continued, combined with the excitement of some storm dodging. These territorial turns were a common sight on the prairies, following me for hundreds of meters and dive bombing as they fought to protect their territory. On my last full evening in Saskatchewan, the skies exploded in color. For the greatest sunset I'd seen yet. What a magnificent treat to cap off this experience in the land of living skies. With a final morning ride into Aspen Parkland, a transition biome between prairie grassland and boreal forest, it was onwards and into Manitoba.